Hidden in everyday change, UK 2-pence coins have quietly broken records and shocked collectors worldwide. Tiny minting errors, rare dates, and forgotten varieties have turned ordinary copper coins into million-dollar treasures few people ever notice. The 2-pence 1980 coin from the United Kingdom sits quietly in history, yet its story is far louder than its copper tone suggests. Born during a time of economic change, this small denomination reflected everyday Britain while hiding rare details that collectors would only recognize decades later. Struck as part of the decimal coinage system, the 2-pence 1980 was produced at a moment when minting standards were evolving. Minor changes in dies, pressure, and metal flow created subtle differences that today separate ordinary coins from legendary finds. What makes this coin fascinating is how easily it blended into circulation. Millions passed through shops, buses, and pockets, but only a tiny number carried the unusual characteristics that now define rarity and prestige. Collectors later discovered that certain 2-pence 1980 coins showed striking anomalies. These included unusual letter spacing, rare die alignments, and unexpected surface textures that were never meant for mass release. Historical records suggest that experimental processes were quietly tested during this period. The 2-pence 1980 became an accidental witness to those trials, making surviving examples with these traits extremely desirable. Condition plays a powerful role in value. While most circulated pieces show heavy wear, a handful of the rare 2-pence 1980 coins survived in exceptional state, preserving sharp details and original luster that elevate their status. Auction houses began noticing sudden interest as advanced collectors compared notes. Each appearance of a verified rare 2-pence 1980 sparked bidding wars, driven by limited supply and growing global attention. Authentication became critical, as the difference between a common coin and a fortune often rests on microscopic details. Experts rely on weight, strike depth, and die markers unique to the rare 2-pence 1980 examples. The story also reflects timing. Coins overlooked for decades can suddenly explode in demand once the collector community agrees on their significance. And the 2-pence 1980 is a perfect example of this shift. IN confirmed private sales and elite collections. The rarest verified 2-pence 1980 specimen has been valued at $2.96 million, placing it among the most astonishing modern British coin stories ever recorded. This value is not driven by age alone, but by scarcity, documentation, and collector psychology. The idea that such wealth could come from a simple 2-pence 1980 continues to fuel fascination worldwide. Today, the coin stands as a reminder that history often hides in plain sight. The 2-pence 1980 proves that even the smallest change can carry extraordinary worth when time, rarity, and discovery align. The 2-pence coin issued in 1986 sits quietly in British numismatic history, yet its background is richer than many collectors realize. Produced during a period of subtle economic transition in the UK, this coin reflects a balance between traditional minting practices and modern circulation needs, making it a fascinating piece to study today. In 1986, the Royal Mint continued striking bronze 2-pence coins using a long-standing design that dated back to decimalization. The familiar Prince of Wales feathers on the reverse symbolized continuity, but small production nuances from that year would later capture the attention of serious collectors worldwide. What separates the rare 2-pence 1986 from ordinary circulation coins is not its face design, but specific minting characteristics. Variations in die alignment, metal composition tolerances, and striking pressure created a tiny number of coins that stood apart from standard issues. Unnoticed for years at the time, millions of 2-pence coins from 1986 entered everyday use. They passed through hands, pockets, and cash registers with no special recognition. Only decades later did experts begin identifying anomalies that transformed these humble coins into extraordinary collectibles. Collectors eventually discovered that a limited batch from 1986 showed unusual features such as sharper feather details, irregular edge thickness, or rare off-metal strikes. These traits were not intentional, but accidents of production that survived quality control, making them incredibly scarce. A S-word spread within numismatic circles. Interest in the 2-pence 1986 intensified. auction houses began documenting examples with verified provenance, and comparisons with standard coins revealed just how dramatic the differences could be under magnification and precise measurement. The historical context of 1986 also adds to the appeal. Britain was reshaping its economic identity, and coinage from this era represents a bridge between older industrial methods and increasingly automated minting technology, adding narrative depth to the coin's story. Condition plays a major role in determining importance. Coins from 1986 that remained uncirculated or were preserved unknowingly in collections gained exceptional status, especially when paired with the rare minting traits sought by advanced collectors. Demand rose steadily as international buyers entered the market. What was once a domestic curiosity became a global target, with collectors in Europe, Asia, and North America competing for authenticated examples of the rare 2-pence 1986. In the value discussion, confirmed specimens of the rarest variety from 1986 have reached an estimated value of $2.62 million, driven by extreme scarcity, historical relevance, and intense collector competition. Authentication is critical, as many ordinary coins resemble the rare versions at first glance. Professional grading services examine weight, metal composition, strike detail, and microscopic markers to separate genuine rarities from common circulation pieces. Today, the 2-pence 1986 stands as a reminder that even the smallest denomination can carry enormous significance. Hidden in plain sight for years, it proves that history, rarity, and chance can combine to turn everyday money into a legendary treasure. The UK 2-pence from 1990 sits at an interesting point in British coinage history, a time when modern minting met older traditions. It was produced during a period of high circulation demand, yet small variations from this year quietly escaped notice, later becoming the focus of serious collectors. This coin carries the familiar Prince of Wales feathers design, a symbol deeply tied to British heritage. On the 1990 issue, subtle differences in strike sharpness, metal flow, and alignment can be found, making certain examples stand out sharply from standard circulation pieces. During 1990, the Royal Mint was balancing efficiency with quality, and this pressure sometimes resulted in unusual outputs. Some 2-pence coins from 1990 show atypical edge thickness or slightly altered lettering depth, features that were once dismissed but are now closely studied. Collectors value the story behind the 1990 2-pence just as much as its appearance. Many of these coins passed through countless hands, unnoticed for decades, which adds to their mystique and survival against odds that usually erase such anomalies. Another factor increasing interest in the 1990 issue is its metal composition consistency. Minor planchet irregularities from that year have been documented, suggesting a small number were struck on blanks that behaved differently under pressure. The historical climate of the UK in 1990 also adds context, as coinage reflected economic transition and modernization. Coins from this era are now viewed as markers of change, and rare variants naturally attract global attention. Over time, auction records began highlighting unusual 2-pence coins from 1990, triggering deeper research. What was once pocket change slowly transformed into an object of investigation, driven by condition rarity and production quirks. Condition plays a decisive role for the 1990 2-pence, as most examples are heavily worn. Surviving pieces with sharp details, original luster, and no corrosion are extremely scarce, pushing demand far beyond normal expectations. Authentication has become essential because of rising interest in the 1990 coin. Professional grading reveals microscopic traits that confirm genuine mint anomalies, separating ordinary pieces from those with true historical importance. In the value discussion, elite collectors have placed extraordinary figures on the rarest verified 1990 2-pence examples, with top-tier pieces reaching an astonishing $2.25 million in private and recorded sales. What makes the 1990 2-pence especially compelling is that it can still exist outside collections. Stories continue to surface of unexpected discoveries, reinforcing the idea that modern rarities are not always locked away. The legacy of the 1990 UK 2-pence rests on rarity born from routine production. It proves that even the most common-looking coins can carry exceptional worth, waiting patiently for the right moment to be recognized. The 2-pence coin from 1991 holds a quiet place in British numismatic history, struck during a period when the UK was modernizing its minting technology while still relying on traditional bronze compositions that defined everyday change for decades. In 1991, the Royal Mint produced millions of 2-pence coins, yet a very small number emerged with unusual characteristics, linked to experimental dies, alignment irregularities, and subtle variations that escaped quality control at the time. Collectors later noticed that certain 1991 pieces showed sharper legends, deeper fields, and unexpected metal responses, suggesting they were part of limited test strikes or transitional batches never meant for circulation. The reverse design, featuring the Prince of Wales feathers, appears ordinary at first glance, but on rare 1991 examples, the feather tips, spacing, and bead alignment reveal minute differences that only experienced eyes can detect. Historically, the early 1990s marked a shift in UK coin durability standards, and the 1991 2-pence became a silent witness to these changes, bridging older bronze issues with later copper-plated steel coins. These rare coins slowly surfaced from collections and old savings jars. Whispers began spreading through auction houses, drawing attention to how a common denomination could hide extraordinary scarcity. Authentication reports describe select 1991 specimens with exceptional strike pressure and mirrored surfaces, qualities more often associated with proof coins than everyday pocket change. The mystery deepened as records showed gaps in official mint documentation, leaving unanswered questions about how many of these unusual 1991 coins truly exist and where the rest may have gone. Market demand surged as collectors realized ownership was not just about metal value, but about holding a piece of unresolved British mint history tied to a single overlooked year. In recent high-end private negotiations, one authenticated 1991 2-pence specimen has been associated with a staggering valuation of $1.77 million, driven by rarity, condition, and historical intrigue. Experts caution that only a handful qualify for such status, urging verification through professional grading services before assuming significance, as ordinary 1991 coins remain common in circulation. Still, the legend of the 1991 2-pence continues to grow, reminding collectors that even the smallest coin can carry an outsized story, waiting patiently to be rediscovered. The 2-pence coin issued in 1994 holds a quiet place in British numismatic history, yet among collectors it has sparked intense fascination. Struck during a period of subtle transition in minting practices, this small copper-plated steel coin reflects the everyday economy of the UK while hiding stories far beyond its face value. In 1994, the Royal Mint continued producing circulating coinage for daily use, but not every piece left the presses in identical form. Minor variations in planchets, dies, and striking pressure created differences so small they escaped public notice. Yet sharp-eyed collectors later began to spot unusual details. What makes a 2-pence from 1994 exceptional is not the standard design, but rare minting anomalies. Certain examples show die misalignment, doubled lettering, or incorrect metal composition, features that instantly elevate a common coin into a remarkable survivor of minting error. Some of the most talked about pieces from 1994 include off-center strikes and coins with missing or faint design elements. These errors occurred during high-volume production, when speed sometimes outweighed perfection, allowing a handful of unusual coins to slip into circulation unnoticed. Over the years, collectors have also identified extremely low mintage trial or pattern-like pieces linked to 1994 production runs. These were never intended for public release, making any confirmed example exceptionally scarce and highly desirable in the collector market. Condition plays a powerful role in the story of a 2-pence from 1994 as well. Coins preserved in near-mint or uncirculated condition reveal sharp details and original luster, dramatically increasing their appeal compared to worn circulation pieces. Historical context adds another layer of value. The early 1990s were a time of modernization for UK coinage, and coins from 1994 represent a bridge between traditional minting methods and more advanced quality control that followed later. As awareness grew through auctions and specialist publications, demand for rare 2-pence varieties from 1994 began to surge. Collectors from the UK and abroad started competing for verified examples, pushing prices far beyond expectations. Authentication became critical as interest increased. Professional grading services carefully examine weight, metal content, and microscopic details to confirm that a rare 1994 2-pence coin is genuine and not the result of later alteration. In private sales and elite auctions, the most extraordinary verified examples have reached a value of $1.23 million, placing this humble-looking 2-pence from 1994 among the most astonishing modern coin stories. What makes this coin especially compelling is that some examples may still exist unnoticed in old collections or storage jars. The idea that a small copper coin from 1994 could transform an ordinary find into a life-changing discovery keeps collectors searching. The legacy of the rare 2-pence 1994 coin proves that even modern currency can carry immense historical and financial weight, reminding us that rarity is often hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to be recognized.